How do you handle the I need to think about it objection in a sales conversation? Today, I'm going to give you three different strategies or routes that you can take whenever you come across this objection in your calls, and hopefully it's helpful. All right, cool. So, really, what I want to focus on today, in order to figure out which way to take the conversation whenever we come across that I need to think about an objection, is based upon the level of rapport that you have with the product. Now, let me back up and say this. When somebody says, I need to think about it, essentially what they're saying is, I am not certain enough to make a buying decision. Now, sales is really a transference of certainty that we're a fit to work together, that this product, this service, this thing that I'm selling is actually what is going to help you and serve you and help you get to where it is that you want to go. Now, if somebody says, well, I need to think about it, we haven't really done our job to transfer that certainty. And that's okay. That's good feedback for us, right? Now, there's three different ways that we can approach it. The typical approach for the amateur is, oh, sure, no problem, go think about it, and then you lose the sale, right? So what we're going to do instead is we're going to take a look at how much rapport do I have with this prospect. So look over here on the board. Let's say we got 0, which is no rapport. I'm just going to say no R, no rapport. Well, you can't see it that well, I guess. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can unfuzzy it. There we go. That should work better. So 0 is no rapport, and you just don't feel like this person's really leaned in and hanging on every word that you're saying. And 10 out of 10 is like rapport is off the charts. Like they're in, they are locked in. They trust what you're saying, and rapport really is kind of just a measure or a metric that we use to measure trust, right? Trust is such an important part of the sales relationship because if there's no trust, there's no sale. Yeah. So I'm going to give you three different ways based on where you're at in terms of rapport. Now, number one, first way is, let's say there's just absolutely no rapport whatsoever. At this point, I am going to do what is called a takeaway. So the first point is a takeaway. That's when we take away the sale. And it's like, I'm going to break up with you before you break up with me, right? So if somebody's like, yeah, sounds nice, I got to think about it. And if they're not in, I'm going to say something like, hey, is it all right if I'm speak directly for a second? Always ask for permission if you're going to be direct, right? Yeah, of course. Shoot straight with me. From where I'm standing, it doesn't sound like it's a hell yes, totally fine. No need to tie up any more mental bandwidth or time. Like, why don't we just say it's a no? Totally fine, right? That's called a takeaway. When you're calling a quits, when you're saying no, when you're saying, maybe we're not a fit to work together. Number one, it's great. It's a pattern interrupt because most people are expecting, if you're a salesperson, you want to get the close, you want to get the sale, and you're always going to be driving forward, which pushes people away. So one of two things, it helps with trust, right? First off, it's like, well, he's not just going for the jugular and going for the sale. Like, okay. But it's going to do one of two things. Is either A, the person's going to say, you're right. I don't think we're a fit. And then that way you can disperse with the formalities and get clear and move on with your life and spend your time, your energy with maybe somebody else who is a fit, right? And same thing for that person, right? That for me is a win. The second thing is if somebody's really leaned in, but they're just not showing it or they're holding back for whatever reason, this is an opportunity for them to say, well, hold on a second. No, I'm actually interested. It's just, and then they reveal what's really going on. Because really, again, the whole I need to think about it is I'm just not certain. And so to convey certainty, we have to get under the hood, get under the cover. What are you not certain about? But it's not easy to just come out and say that. Now, to skip ahead, we got takeaway number one, if you're 0, right? Now, what if you're like 10 out of 10 and the person is like hanging on every word and you feel like, yeah, this is my brother from another mother or sister from another mister or whatever it is. And they're just like, oh man, I really want to do this. Okay, let me think about it. If the rapport is off the charts, then just go straight for the jugular, right? And say, what is there to think about? Like, it sounds like we're a great fit. What do you have to think about? Now, when you're going to be direct, my approach 9 times out of 10 is to do it with love, do it. I mean, you always do it with love, no matter what. But do it in like a fun and playful way because that keeps it light, right? There's times where it's like we've been going back and forth for hours, multiple calls. You know this is for you. It's just fear. Time to jump, right? And that's when you can bring forth that forward and direct energy. But again, the rapport needs to be off the charts. There needs to be trust there. And that's when you can be forward, you can be direct and say, Bob, we've been talking for a long time. Honestly, what is there to think about? You know this for you. What's going on? Like, level with me. Oh, it's just fear. Well, and then you can follow up with, do you want to face your fear? I mean, that's not going to go away. It's going to be here today, tomorrow, whenever. So do you want to face that alone and on your own? I mean, how's that served you, right? Or do you want to do it with support? In fact, if you didn't, we wouldn't be talking in the first place. So why not make a decision here and now? I'm here. I'm supporting you. Let's do this together, right? But again, trust is off the charts. Now, so that's number 3 is direct. And then number 2, the second way, I don't know if you can see all of that, but so we got 1, 2, and 3. The second way is, what if you're somewhere in the middle and, rapport is not like a dead doorknob, and it's also not, I don't know, a hopping, swinging party at Diddy's house, but it's somewhere in the middle. And, somebody's like, okay, this sounds great. I'm really interested. I just need to think about it. One way to approach it, again, there's so many ways to skin a cat, but one way is what I call the negotiation approach. Okay, so let's write that down. Negotiation. I'm just going to say negotiate, right? Let's say the person's name is Bob. Bob's my father's name. Bob, let me ask you a question. What would make this a slam dunk? Like, what would make this a 10 out of 10? Let's go right now. Like, what's lacking for you that you still need to think about, right? And that way the person can say, well, to be honest, I was thinking it's more this, in which case you can clarify it, or the person has some other objection. Again, the whole objection handling thing, it's squirrely. It's often, there's multiple layers to it. And the approach is always, you got to peel back the layers one by one. And so one of these 3 directions based on your level of rapport is going to help you to peel back that layer, because I need to think about it as a smokescreen for, I just don't have certainty. So there's 3 different ways to say, well, let's get you that certainty. That's the roundabout. It's the takeaway. It's the negotiate, what's going to give you that certainty. And it's the direct, hey, come on. Like, you're giving certainty in the way that you pose it to your prospect. So hope this is helpful. Let me know what your takeaway is, or rather which approach stands out to you most, what it is that you're looking forward to use in your calls. And we'll see you here again very soon.